So we're starting off with the green beans today. This one's come a long way, especially since it's almost caught up with these two plants, but we're having some wonderful progress on them. The leeks, we've got this one here, several other sprouts coming up. I don't know if you can see these ones on the camera, but really high hopes for these. Here are the onions, no growth yet. There'll be another video that's posted that it kind of explains how I did those ones. Now coming into the garlic. If anybody remembers from weeks ago, the garlic was only like this tall, the shoots on top were. So we're doing really well. And then here's the radish. They're coming in, they're getting taller. And radishes, I don't believe, take very long to grow. So here is what I think might be calendula. I'm still not 100% positive, but it's growing really well. Oh, I don't know if you can see this. Let's see if I can get it. We've got somewhat of a dill thing going on right here. You can tell it's starting to look like dill. Also right over here too. So, but this has come a long way also. So I guess several of them have little dill pieces on them. So I'm gonna have a lot of dill. This got knocked over, so I think I have to replant this, but I might plant something else in here because I don't know how well these are going to do. Rosemary, got a little tiny baby sprout there. So hopefully I'll get a couple more because I planted several seeds, and hopefully that is an actual rosemary sprout, not just a weed. So I didn't notice this before, but we've got carrot growth down in here. I'm pretty thrilled about that. I didn't see that yesterday. I feel like a lot of things come up overnight. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that about plants. If it's not there one day, it's like boom, all of a sudden there. Spearmints, still going strong, still doing really well, even after cutting them off. This one was looking kind of sad because I had cut off some here, but I think it's doing okay now. Still lots of growth, and mint's just very resilient to really everything. The thyme has come a long way. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to transplant some of that so I can give some away so they can start their own plants, because that's a lot of time. Still nothing on the marigold, but we'll see. Chives are looking really well. Here's a peppermint plant. It's coming in, moving kind of slow, but we're doing well. We've got some smaller pieces over there, so got some little clovers tucked in there. Nothing on the potatoes yet. What I think I'm going to do is dump this out and then have my little mound like I did last year, and I think that'll serve them better. That way they're not kind of trapped in this, because I don't have holes in this can at all. So I think that's what I'll do this weekend. Alright, so starting with the cilantro. Cilantro's still coming in really well. We've got quite a few clumps, so hopefully people around here like cilantro. Here's the holy basil. Got this really long sprout right here, which I'm not quite sure if if that's the holy basil, but let's see. The sun's pretty bright right now, but we're having some nice little growth right there, along with over there. So I don't see, oh, and we've got a couple small ones over here. So the lettuce is still doing really well. We've got several of them, as you can see right here, that are starting to turn purple because it's a salad mix. So I wish you could feel this because it feels awesome. Got this little mess over here. So we've got the wild bergamot. I don't know, let's see if you can see it on camera, kind of like from last week. You see all these little pieces. There you go. It goes all the way across here. We're getting some other little pieces here that are starting to turn brighter colors, so I think we're doing pretty well. I don't see any other ones other than just that one row, which the sun's so bright right now you can't see very much. But then I have a little sprout there. I don't think that's the bergamot, but I guess we'll see. So moving on to the tomato, all 3 of the little pots that I planted are coming in strong. So I think planting them in a pot was the best way to go this year. The citronella has come a long way. We've even got a little thing going on up here. I don't know if that's I don't know if it's going to be a flower or if that's just growing more leaves. But overall, still doing really well. Still smells good too. The okra's doing okay. It's looking a little rough, but it's also pretty resilient too. And this side's looking a little sketchy, but that's okay. I think this is just the top of the seed, and those are coming in. So I'm looking forward to having this. Probably gonna need to put some fencing around this so the deer don't eat it from off the porch. Moving over to the basil. Coming in, we're just taking our sweet time, but we've got quite a bit of basil pieces in here that are actually starting to form other leaves on them. So we should have quite a bit. Here's the kohlrabi. It's gotten quite a bit taller, and it seems to be doing really well. Here's the oregano, still looking pretty strong, getting pretty tall. And as far as I know, the cuttings worked. I haven't heard from anybody that they've failed, so I guess that's the way to go. I've got one here that I'm going to try myself and make sure I did those correctly. Sugar snap peas are definitely coming along. We're getting there. We're going to have to get little stakes that I can put up next to them so they don't start falling over. So as you can see, all of my African marigolds have bloomed. I don't know how big they get, but I'm kind of glad that I planted 3 in each. Okay, so we're moving on to the spinach and the red kale. We'll do the spinach first. We've had a lot of growth since last week, and it seems to be doing really well. I couldn't get it to grow in the ground last year, so I'm pretty excited about that. Moving on to the red Russian kale. You can see all the different little pieces here. We've got a lot coming in, especially this little hunk right here. So we'll do the petite lupine first. I had just planted them, I think last week, maybe? I'll have to check. But if you look at this, a lot of these have come up overnight. There was just little tiny pieces and then bam. But a lot of growth here. So I'm looking forward to those blooming because they're supposed to be very pretty according to the picture that I posted in last week's video. So moving over to the arugula, I clearly went a little crazy with the seeds, but this is very exciting. So this is a lot, and I do believe I'm one of the only people here that likes arugula. So I'm gonna have arugula salads for a long while, but oh, it's beautiful, and I wish you could, kind of like the lettuce, I wish you could feel this. Alright, so if you remember from the other videos how I built the little cucumber, not a trellis, but little box thing out of the pallets. We've got our cucumbers, and we finally have some growth here. Here's one. I think this might be a weed, I'm not 100% sure, and nothing else in here. Well, we might have a little something there. You can't see it on camera though. Nothing in this side yet, as you can see, but we're looking forward to getting some cucumbers. So here's the cat grass from a while ago. The cats are eating too much of it and throwing it up. So if anybody needs some cat grass, we have a lot. So I don't know if you remember from the previous video, I had a tomato plant that my friend had given me, and I had repotted it in here, and it was looking pretty sad, but I believed it would come back, and it's still coming in strong. So I think it just took a little beating there for a little bit because of the weather change, but we're looking good, and it still seems pretty strong. So I don't know if anybody's wondering about the lavender. I ended up chopping most of it off because that was like the only thing that I could think of to do, because there was other growths coming in, and this has gotten a lot taller. So have those. So I think it kind of cleared way for more growth, and I'm just drying the other lavender out that I cut off, and we're gonna do something with it. But I didn't hurt the plant because it's still coming in.